my eyes to the hills, for where cometh my help? My help cometh from the maker of heaven and the earth. I will be still, I will be still, I will be still, and know that you are God. You are God alone. Miracle, many that's in the air. Miracle, it's a mini of the
Hi, good evening, everyone. Yeah, we sincerely apologize for the technical hitch. You know, you can never, be certain with, social media, with the internet, but we thank God that everything has been restored. I hope you've all had a wonderful week, and thank God it's Friday. And welcome to your favorite show. As usual, the Inside You with Nanahigan. And today my makeup was being sponsored by Milk and Honey, and her number is 074 96 318 713. 074 96 318 713. Sorry, and she's called Milk and Honey Beauty. She does manicure and pedicure, and also she installs wig, and she does twist as well, and also sell. And she's also a mobile, beauty artist. So if you need anyone to do your makeup, please don't hesitate to call her. And I think I've made her number known. And that's it. We had an interesting conversation, 2 weeks ago. And this is just going to be a continuation, yes, of it. The first part we talked about, branding. I would say, political branding, and we touched on, brand identity, brand values, brand personality, and also brand resonance. And today I have, with me, my dear brother, who happens to be an assistant professor of marketing from the University of Bradford, and it's called Dr. Samuel Kusi. Let's welcome Dr. Samuel Kusi to the show.
Thank you.
Yeah, how are you?
Well, I'm fine, and yourself?
I hope your day has been good.
Well,
I mean, it's freezing. It's freezing in cold, but you see, yes, we need to get over there. Yeah,
but it was good.
We just want to say thank you. Yeah, thank you for educating us on, also, political branding. And also, brand identity, brand values, and also, brand resonance. And today we are going to talk about managing political, brand, crisis under uncertainty. Thank you so much. And, we had, I would say, positive feedback from the first submission that, we had. So I hope this will go a long way to educate I'll say political leaders, if not now, maybe in the future. They will take a lot of inspiration, also like information from the articles that you submitted. Yes, so thank you. Yes, on that. Doc, when we talk about, I think in my research in the topic that you actually actually sent to me. I was a bit shocked to see um, we have crisis in every sphere of life,
Mhm.
including politics as well,
Mhm.
and especially when branding actually goes wrong, it affects not just the political parties, but then it affects even industries. Like it affects even the general, I'll say, public. And so, we just want to find out what is political brand crisis. Like, what does it mean?
Oh, good evening and thanks for having me once again. When we talk about when we talk about political brand crisis, the crisis itself is when there is chaos, when there is misunderstanding, when there is uncertainty, when there is a problem within
Mm.
a political party where there's no way out. And unless that crisis is resolved, the end thereof is so bad. So we have
So,
in the 2000, we have Mrs. Rawlings, Ajima Rawlings, who decided to break away from the NDC party because she didn't get what she wanted to have. Then we have Obeda Samuel Gusitando, all of them leaving the party. You realize that there was a big problem because these were part of the founding members of the party. And for them to leave, they are not living, but they are living with the inside out of the party secret. So, what makes the brand values, what made the brand identity as it is, everything is taken away. So, Ajima Rawlings took away from the party 31st Women's Development. That movement, you see how she was empowering women. Everything was taken away from the National Democratic Congress. This was one of the backbones of the party. So when crisis comes, you see that there is chaos everywhere. And when there is chaos, it means there's no peace and misunderstanding sets in. And when misunderstanding sets in, it destroys everything you have built for. It's like a husband and a wife who are having problems and the kids are suffering.
okay, so at this point, how can politicians, I would say, I would say that navigate, their brand communication in a politically changed times? Because I think this is the, I'll say, the time that you cannot just, just get away with, just anything. So how can the politicians, I'll say, navigate brand communication in a politically changed times? Yeah.
For example, the case of Ghana, when we look at
Mm.
Paula Foko, when we look at when he was suspended indefinitely from the New Patriotic Party, we saw Kwabena Yeboah following suit. Now, there was a big problem within the MPP at that time because at that time, the case against Paula Foko was that he was preventing Nana Akufo-Addo to become a president. And that was a big, 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 big deal. When it happened, we realized that the party was shaking because where Afoko is coming from, MPP needed some vote from there. Now, if the party does not sit to resolve that, it's a big problem. In 2016, we saw what happened. Rawlings was on the nerves of His Excellency former President John Mahama. You realize that NDC lost massively, over almost over 1 million votes. That was a big deal. So the bridges were not mended. They did not put the bridges together, but it was a dividing wall. Once a dividing wall comes in, water passes through the wall and breaks everything down. Three key things are critical. I want to talk about only three. Probably I will add one more. That is the founder. First of all, why would crisis happen in a political party? Crisis
Yeah.
can arise when the party loses an election. That says a big uncertainty and crisis comes in. Two, when there is internal elections within the party, like what has happened to the New Patriotic Party in Ghana, when His Excellency, Alan Cash lost the election to become the flag bearer, he decided to leave. And when he left, the press conference showed that the New Patriotic Party prevent other people from becoming who they have to become within the party. Leaving the New Patriotic Party at that point was crucial because it was getting to election year. Alan left the party, not leaving the party, but establish the movement for change. And this movement for change might cause havoc to the party. Even if it is not a massive havoc, every vote counts in politics, whether the numbers are 2, 3, or even 1, because the constitution says 150 plus 1. So that number, that figure 1 is very important. So first of all, to repair crisis, the crucial part is trust. The first point is trust. When the NDC lost the 2016 election, Voice of Africa interviewed Jerry John Rawlings, and he said the people had lost trust in us. So if we don't go back and repair the broken trust, it's going to be difficult for the people to vote for us. So trust means people should have faith in the system. People should have faith in the political brand. People should have faith, especially the leader. People should have faith in the processes or procedures that will be put to repair the broken vows. What vows? What were the broken things? In 2018, you see that Obeda Samoa, Gusitano, all of them were brought back to the party. And recently, John Mahama had been advised to still repair the damage between the party and Mrs. Hajima Rawlings, because Rawlings is a founder, one of the pillars of the NDC. So if the wife, who had been our first lady before, saw a problem with the party, we shouldn't forget their daughter is still within the party. So it's a kind of mixed up. Those who love Ajima Rawlings might decide not to vote for the MPP, NDC. They will switch allegiance to one side. And Nana, one crucial thing in political brand is that it costs more money and resources to convince one voter than to maintain existing voter, because the amount of talking, the amount of money, airtime money that you pay for advert, people that will move from door to door, you are not sleeping, you have to go to the hinterlands, you have to convince all of them. It's a big deal. But if you have all of them at your side, then it means you don't need to commit all these resources. These resources could be used for other purposes. So trust is very important. Now let's look at Gusitano. Let's look at Obeda Samoa. Although you might not see them in frontline politics these days, but these guys have knowledge about how to win elections. Okay, so bringing them on board even give confidence to the people they left from the party, or they left with from the party. They are bringing all of them. And I have said earlier on that it is just one vote that separates the winner and the loser in Ghana. Is 50 plus 1. So if Gusitano is bringing his members, Obeda Samoa bringing his members, and if Mrs. Hajima Rawlings is to bring the 31st December Women's Movement, although the movement is not on, but she's an iconic person for them. So when she comes back, it might play a big role. Secondly, Imagine Ajima Rawlings mount the platform with the daughter to campaign. What's going to happen? Look at when Hannah Tete started to campaign with the member of parliament for the NDC candidate. She told them, whatever I started, MPP is destroying everything. And they saw what that woman, that lady did. So that resonates with the voters. So all of them will come back. So the first point is trust. Nana, the one leading the peace deal or peace agreement should also be credible. In the NDC and in the MPP, who have the political brand crisis, who is going to lead them? That person should be credible. Now, look at what Alan Cash said about President Kufuor. He said he's disappointed about why Kufuor will choose Dr. Bawumia over him because Bawumia has been endorsed by Kufuor. And one critical point in brand management crisis is the founder or the chief executive. Kufuor, as part of the founding members of the New Patriotic Party, the first to take them to the presidency, has got a big fingerprint, and that fingerprint translates to the footprint he left behind. So when President Kufuor endorses anybody, it goes a long way. So let's look at how Kufuor's endorsement about Bawumia is going to translate into repairing or addressing the crisis. Kufuor is one of the best. If you look at from the 2000 coming, what he did, phenomenal. So if Kufuor is endorsing Bawumia, it means that indirectly Kufuor is telling the movement of change that, listen, I know Alan Cash has left the party, but I still have a credible person because people were saying that Alan Cash is coming from the camp of Kufuor. So for Kufuor to come and say that they should vote for Bawumia, it means he's switched his allegiance from Alan Cash to that of Bawumia, which means that the supporters of Alan Cash would now start to think, oh, okay, Daddy has spoken, and where is Daddy want us to vote? Daddy wants us to give our vote to Bawumia. So it's causing a bit of uncertainty in the camp of movement for change. If you look at the expression of Alan Cash, he expressed his bitterness on TV. That expression tells you that the trust of the founder of the political party is very crucial. So for Kufuor to give the thumbprint or the fingerprint to put it on the seal for the people that my chosen one is Bawumia, which is a big deal for Alan Cash. So watch UTV, watch this week coming. Everywhere Alan Cash has been, you could see that he is so bitter. And he expressed the bitterness that President Kufuor doesn't want to remember what I have done for him. Now, for somebody to say that, can't you remember what I've done for you? It means that the trust that people have in Kufuor is not going for Alan Cash, it's going for MPP. And that is one way the MPP has been able to exonerate itself from repairing or addressing the crisis. The second part is credibility. Why should we vote for MPP or why should we vote for NDC? Let's pick the NDC. Now, Obeda Samoa has come on board, Gusitano has come on board. These are top dogs of NDC. Okay, look at Gusitano when he was talking about how to win an election, all the 419, all the 99 guerrilla tactics, all of them coming. Now, Nana, when these guys want to give their expertise and their experiences backing His Excellency, former President John Mahama, you see that is going to go a long way. So it is going to be at par with what President Kufuor is now doing because MPP needs somebody who will help them overturn the negative image that has gone into the minds of the people, because some people are criticizing them that apart from the free SHS, there's nothing much they have done, right? If it is only about the free HSS, what is the big deal here? And now you see, John Mahama is also repairing the crisis NDC has got, because they have been tagged that when they come to power, they are going to cancel the free SHS, because in 2016, from 2012 all the way to 2016, Mahama was criticizing Akufo-Addo and he used the term, this is a 419 policy. So 419 policy, now you are telling the public that when you come, you are going to strengthen the same policy that you said it was a 419 policy. That means there's conflict of interest. We cannot parallel the two. So that crisis Mahama himself created against the image of the NDC, you see that he's gone back to repair. He's attaching credibility to what he said. He's even going to include private schools. Okay, because a lot of people have called for the private school to be included, but the NPP government said, no, if you have money and you want to go to the private school to pay, that's up to you to pay. It's free at government schools. Now, what is the credibility here? People are now weighing Mahama on what he did. Okay, so what kind of promises he made, he couldn't fulfill. Some people said at the Akonfemne to Kobokina. Okay, if Akonfemne to Kobokina, now what are you going to promise? What are you going to do? He couldn't pay the nurses' allowance, teachers' allowance, he couldn't pay. Now, when MPP came to power, they paid all of them. Are you now coming back to tell us that you are going to strengthen them? It's going to be a big deal. Can people see him to be trustworthy, to be credible enough that they can give their trust to? Okay, carry us to the next 4 years. It's going to be a big deal. So you see that Mahama is gradually doing the damage control, gradually. And now you see that the campaign, he's attacking the person, the brand of MPP has put forward. He's now attacking Baumia itself. So he chose
Okay, so
words.
mhm.
He chose some
No,
words
because
which I wouldn't
I was
want
just
to.
going to ask. No, it's just pardon me, because when you talk about this this brand crisis, especially with respect to the NPP, I am thinking, are you not sure that when they endorsed, Dr. Baumia, to be the flag bearer, I'm just thinking, were they not aware of the crisis that was going to happen? And if they didn't know, I just want to ask, at this point, how can politicians develop a crisis management plan? And also, how can we prepare our politicians to detect and deal with brand crisis quickly before it escalates into, what, Alan Cash and all the other, people, like all the other sagas that we are seeing, now on social media?
Well, the mind's construction cannot be found on the face. So we all take chances. If you look at H&M, about 2 or 3 years ago, they came out with some jumper, and they advertise with a young guy, black guy, and in front of the jumper it says Black Monkey. Okay, for them, for H&M, they were creating some jokes, or they are making fun of blacks being associated with monkeys. And shockingly, it was not black who were demonstrating against that. It was white people. So MPP knew for sure Alan Cash had left the party and had come back. So if he is going to leave, it wouldn't be a news anymore. Now, we have to look at what is the stand of MPP now. If you look at Baumia, he is not looking at physical infrastructure. He's about digitalization. Everything is going to digital. That is the world we are. If you look at Donald Trump's appointment of Elon Musk, he says this guy is going to bring about efficiency. Where is the efficiency power of Elon Musk or his expertise? His expertise in technology, advanced level of technology. So if you look at Baumia, where he's taking the direction, everything is going to be part and parcel of what the world is approaching. Everything is about AI, artificial intelligence. Everything is moving to Generation Alpha, not Gen Z, okay? Because Generation Alpha is taking over. These are smart guys who are going to not tread on physical things. They are going to employ artificial intelligence. They're going to employ metaverse. They're going to employ blockchain. That is quite phenomenal. Look at the stock exchange. Look at Bitcoin. Look at how it is multiplying. It is digital, isn't it? And look at the art world. The art world says that they are moving from the physical to the digital world. Look at Spotify. How many times do you see DVDs and video cassette and everything available? Everything is moved online. So if this credible candidate is moving the country to online, why wouldn't the party choose? And don't forget, we are talking about credibility and trust. John Mahama was saying that there's no way MPP will choose a Northerner to lead the party because it happened in the days of Aliu, forgotten the name, but for Kufuor second time. Yeah. Now, that indelible ink was hanging on the neck of MPP. So they needed to prove a point. Nana, MPP is run on Mebahache. So when Kufuor was leaving, it was time for Nanado to come. So everyone thought that when Nanado is leaving, it will be the time for Alan Cash. But that indelible ink, Nana, if you are managing crisis.
But I think, I think in all fairness, because if it's based on Mibahache, then I'm thinking, after Nana, then, obviously, I mean, I'm based on, Mibahache thing, then obviously, Alanka should be, the next person. But unfortunately,
No, it doesn't work all the way. Look at Coca-Cola. Okay, in the late 90s, Coca-Cola was almost drowned by Pepsi because Pepsi was seen as green, more sustainable. Pepsi had no option. Coca-Cola had no option. Coca-Cola did not depend on its original Coca-Cola. It did not depend on Fanta. Do you know what Coca-Cola had to do? Coca-Cola had to buy innocent drink for people to see that they are also into sustainable or green product. That is how we do it. So it's not about Mebahache. It's about a candidate that will help us erase the indelible ink. So innocent drink was very new on the market. Innocent drink was taken over, became so dominant between 2004 and 2006 in the United Kingdom. It became dominant and it was penetrating the European and American market because people saw it to be original, no preservatives, no added nothing, original, no added sugar, nothing. So Coca-Cola had to bring innocent drink to its collection of product. So MPP, being smart, let's erase this indelible ink. How are we erasing the indelible ink? MPP is not reserved for Asantis and Akans. We are beyond that. So at all costs, they have said we are going to punish Baumia as we did to Ali Mahama. So we're going to do the same thing. So when now that Baumia is there, nobody can talk. That indelible ink is covered. Now you see. So
but it
when
still comes back to the trust and credibility issue. It still comes
the
back
credibility because
like imagine, like I don't know. I mean, imagine you telling me that, Nana. I mean, like I'll give you, let's say £1,000, at the end of every week, and then it's like you break your promise. I don't think I'll be able to trust you again. So, like between the top officials or the top executives of MPP, if there's this agreement that if Nana is no longer in power, and it's based on this Mibahache, and I know they are trying to erase this indelible ink. I do understand it, but I'm thinking, in all fairness, if Alan Cash, I mean, if Alan Cash was in line of succession, I mean, I don't know, because I'm thinking if it were to be you and I, we all feel the same way. We feel that how Alan Cash is feeling, and I think based on the trust and also the credibility issue, I think there's a question mark somewhere. But anyway, this is politics, so we can.
Yeah, Nana, when we are talking about branding, okay, branding goes beyond what you and I see. We have to look at what will sell. The last time I said advertising is incongruous to sellability. Okay, the fact that you are advertising doesn't mean that you're going to get sales. So the fact that we have the Meba channel doesn't mean we can present any or take the Watina dada and we're going to win. We have to first of all look at what is the masses, what are they saying? What will help us win so that everyone in the party will benefit? That is how we manage brand in politics. All right. So when the voice of the masses are aligning, okay, or moving at a direction, there's nothing that you can do. Then it means the party must follow suit. So Alan was a dominant force in MPP. Don't forget he's left and come back. So that iota of trust and credibility, some people in the party might also start to question, okay, he's left us, he come back and he wants to be, that means all that he wants to be is he wants to be the flag bearer. Without him being the flag bearer, he cannot offer anything for the party. Now, if Alan had left the MPP around 2018, it wouldn't have been a big deal. He would have given them, it would have been boot for boot, pound for pound. But he waited until the internal elections. When he lost the elections, then he left the party. That is where I wasn't comfortable.
Okay, that's fine. It makes sense now.
So Nana, you see where the crisis is coming from.
Yeah.
So everyone will have the impression that because you didn't win, so you are leaving the party. Not that the party is not good, but after the election, if you are leaving the party, then the people will start to question, why are you leaving the party in the die minute?
But I think there's something there's something else. They also have something that they call like those people that have really served. It's like they've done the behind the scenes, with the grassroots and stuff like that. And if I'm right, I think Alan Cash has also done a lot of work, as compared to Bawumia. I mean, like on that footing. So I stand to be corrected.
Nana, I like Alan Cash so much. Okay, if you look at some of the flagship programs in the days of Kufuor, okay, he did so much for the country. Even when Nanado appointed him as Minister of Trade, he's done phenomenal. Look at VW having assembly plant in Ghana. He has done so well. I wish he didn't leave the MPP. Do you know why? Because sometimes when you look at the environment, although you are due for the appointment, but the terrain will not be conducive for you to become. So you might need to wait, or you might still need to be part and parcel of the movement. All right. That's why I said if he had left the MPP in 2018, I would have preferred, because by then it wouldn't be you've lost the election and you are leaving. It will be a resounding reason that the party is going on the wrong direction and I don't think I can be with them. So you leave them. But if you wait till the last hour or last minute and you are leaving, Nana, in branding, we look at credibility, trust. Okay, then people will start to look at the image that you are portraying. You are part of the family, and suddenly you left the party. Everything the party has done is not good. That's where the problem is. You've been part of the system of governance. Immediately you left the party, now everything the party has done is not good. That is why I have the problem. If he had left in 2018 and all these criticisms are coming, perfect, because you are not part of them. But Nana, to be a trade, if you are a minister of trade, the country revolves around you. Every business that
Sure.
happens in the country. So if we are hungry for food, it's on you. If we don't have good drinking water, it's on you. Everything revolves around you. So if you leave and you start to criticize, then people start to ask. If you read some of the newspapers, people are asking, why are you talking about all this now? However,
So there's a difference between him. So there's a difference between him and Kennedy Japan, because like Honorable Kennedy Japan also lost, but then did not leave the party. So there's a difference between Alan Cash and Kennedy Japan. I mean,
so you see that the brand personalities, Alan Cash and Honorable Kennedy Japan, you see that Honorable Kennedy Japan was able to manage his brand personality crisis in a better way. Okay, he criticized the party. Okay, he criticized the party, but he said, I am not going to leave this party because there's no better option. I will be with the party and strengthen the structures, the systems of operations, and the strategies. So you see that he's campaigning for the party. All right. So the crisis management has got a lot to do. Nana, the next thing to manage brand crisis in terms of politics is resources. Resources. First, financial resources. We're talking about money. Okay? Now, if you look at MPP is very strong when it comes to money. So they are able to mount adverts. They are able to feature in all major news outlets. They are able to, because they have money, they are able to do things. They go on radio stations, TV stations, move. They have a lot of communicators. The second point is about human power. Nana, currently, let's look at NDC and MPP. All the 275 constituencies, you will see their member of parliament present there. All right. Let's look at movement for change. And then let's look at if movement for change can have representation in all the 275 constituencies. No. Now, let's look at how Alan is managing the brand personality crisis. Alan says we should vote for him to become the president. And when he becomes the president, he's going to be a unified president and he's going to bring all political parties together. So he's going to use the MPs from MPP, NDC, and other political parties to make decisions. Nana, management the crisis from this perspective is going to be tough because it's the NDC, MPP, are they supposed to fund their members of parliament in all the constituencies? Then you are the one criticizing them. You are the one criticizing the NDC and MPP that these two parties have destroyed Ghana. But now you say when you come to parliament or when you become a president, you are going to use these members of parliament to formulate decisions and to carry your vision for the country. it is counterintuitive because it's not gonna work. It's like counterculture. One, you don't like them, the NDC and NPP, you don't like them, but when you become a president, when we vote for you to become a president, then you are going to leverage on their members of parliament. It is counterculture that dilutes the value of the movement for change. If the movement for change is going to have its own members of parliament in parliament, then that's fine. But if you are managing brand personality crisis from this perspective, people will start to question, all right, you are criticizing NDC and NPP, but when they have their members in parliament, you want to thrive on them and be a president. Nana, is going to be tough. Don't forget.
So,
Don't forget, when you look at the communication team of the NPP and NDC, I call them hedges of impediment. The reason why I call them hedges of impediment is that these are dividing walls of resistance. These communication teams of NDC and NPP, they are strong dividing wall of resistance, and they have built that hedge of impediment so that it has become two-party state. It's very difficult. Look at somebody like Sami Jemfi defending the undefendable, okay, defending the wrong that is unpardonable. The same thing Miracle Abuaji is defending the records of Baumia seriously. Okay, when you see it is red, they will tell you it is not red, but that is how you see it, but that is not what it is. Has the movement for change gotten these strong human resources around the country, around every constituency, around every district and region to defend the undefendable, to run and reach the unreachable sky, to fight and win against the unbeatable foe? Can the movement for change do that? These are the questions the political party must sit and answer them.
So at this point, how can we overcome, I'll say, what's called the brand crisis? How can we overcome?
In simple terms,
how can
you need a communication team that will be able to sell sand and sun for people living on the desert. Let me go back. To overcome brand crisis in politics, you need a communication team that is able to sell sand and sun on the desert to the people living on the desert and take away the drop of water in their hands. Nana, if the communication team is not able to do that, you cannot manage the crisis. For instance, Sami Jemfi is defending Mahama that Mahama didn't say he was going to cancel the free SHH was not good. Even they had already proposed that. Nana, you and I, those who are following Ghana politics, know Mahama tagged Akufo-Addo that this is a 419 political gimmick. Now, Sami Jemfi has come back to say that, no, we're going to strengthen the free SHS, we're going to build schools, we're going to cancel the double track, we're going to do this, we're going to do this. Why? Because they don't manage it from this perspective. They need to overturn the negative to become positive. If the communication tool is not strong, Nana, managing the crisis, look at Miracle Abuaji. When this guy stands to talk about the achievements of Baumia, they are not talking about if the fundamentals are weak, the exchange rate will expose you.
No.
You see, look at how Miracle Abuaji explained that catchphrase. He said, you guys misunderstood what Baumia said. He said, for the foundation to be strong, sometimes it has to be weak. And if the foundation become weak, then we need to come back to make the dollar and the cedi become stronger. You see how he's turning the table? That means if you take this guy to the
It
Sahara
doesn't make
Desert,
sense. It doesn't make sense. Yeah.
Nana, I have told you, okay, the customer left alone will buy no ordinary of the good unless he or she is forced. So when it comes to
Yeah.
branding, it's not about what you think is not right. It's about selling the candidate of the day. So even if the candidate has done something bad, as a communicator, you need to come and wrong all the right. That is why you are there for. So imagine, Nana, if I'm selling Alan Cash, do you think I wouldn't sell Alan Cash? I would, irrespective or the of when it comes to branding, we call it brand infidelity. Okay, so that thing,
Oh,
yes,
infidelity.
it's called brand
Okay.
infidelity. All right. We will talk about that infidelity. I told you after the election, we have two topics to talk about. We have power,
Yeah.
prophecy, and political branding. We'll talk about that. So, and we'll add the brand infidelity. This is an abomination when it comes to branding, and it puts you in brand crisis, and you have to manage it. And it all calls for formidable communicators. If your communicators are weak,
Mm.
forget it. Now, look at Sami Gemfi. Sami Gemfi, when the Airbus scandal came and the Office of Special Prosecutor said he wasn't going to prosecute Mahama, he's cancelled the case. Sami Jamfi came and said, well, even the Office of Special Prosecutor has said there's no case against Mahama. So why are you guys talking about? It is not even John Mahama. They said government official one, and that government official one is not attributable to John Mahama. And you and I know that when you talk about the gentleman of the land, it was the former president. But these guys are able, Nana, if your communicators cannot sell sand, not selling, exchange sand and sun to people living on the Sahara Desert for their little drop of water left, you cannot manage your crisis in politics.
Wow. So at this point, how does the political brand, I'll say crisis uncertainty, impacts on investors and the general public? I mean, how does it play out? Because it was a U.S. election. As soon as Trump won, the markets just. So I mean, how does this brand crisis uncertainty really impacts on investors and general public? How?
Well, if Mahama comes back or if Dr. Baumia continues, obviously there'll be a little bit of uncertainty before the market settles down. This is how it works. When you put Baumia and you put Mahama, all of them have made promises that were not fulfilled. Okay, so
Okay.
all of them have got a little bit of credibility challenge. But our John Mahama once said, Ghana for the Encheno Murefi Asem. And from
Yeah.
2016
Of
all the
course, the
way.
truth.
Yeah, he said it, and it is true. From 2016 to 2024, a lot of people have forgotten what happened in the days of John Mahama. The Dunso and all those things, the corruption, and I've forgotten that minister's name. She said all that she wanted in politics is $1 million. A lot of things happened. The same thing applies to the MPP in power. A lot of things have happened. From 2016, Charles BCU was caught on camera, taking money. All these things have been overlooked. Right. People are looking at the immediate needs. When you look at Maslow hierarchy of needs, it talks about the psychological need. This is the basic one: food, water, shelter, and sex. So if you look at carefully Mahama and Baumia, they are not promising anything. They are promising the basic needs of Ghanaians: jobs, food, jobs, food, jobs, food. So Mahama says, I'm going to create 24-hour economy. And Baumia said 24-hour economy is already in place. So we just only need to strengthen it. So I'm going to take bold decisions to make it happen. I am going to reverse the e-levy. Mahama has said, I'm going to cancel the e-levy. There is betting tax. Mahama says, when I come, I'm going to cancel the betting tax. But Nana, you and I know that gambling is addictive. So the taxes, the gambling taxes was able to curb that a little bit. But those who are addicted, those who are hooked up in betting, are calling for Mahama to come because he's going to cancel the betting tax. How? Because he wants to redeem himself. Because he says he's going to put more money in there. Because if the tax on betting is taken away, it means that when you put money on betting, you are not going to be taxed, or when you win, you are not going to be taxed. Indirectly, he's trying to tell them that he's going to put more money in their pocket to go and eat. And that is what the masses are looking for. So they have to give them what they want, how they want it, and when they want it. That is why, if you look at Mercedes and VW, Nana, you see that they have cheaper versions of their cars and they have the extremely expensive one. Look at Volvo EX90. It starts from 100,000. But look at the ID4, ID3. It's on the cheap side, about 40,000, 50,000. Why? Because they are appealing to everybody. So if I was Mahama, our former president, His Excellency, obviously I will need to tell them, because the customer left alone will buy no ordinary. If the politician doesn't tell the people what they want, they are not going to vote for them. So they need to bring policies that will help them to win. That is how we manage crisis in political branding. Unfortunately.
But do you think, as a nation, do you think we really even care about political brand crisis? Do we does the average Ghanaian even understand all these I don't think they really care. And if they do want to take control of a brand crisis today, that is if they don't, then that's fine.
Yeah, if they don't care, look at what happened to MPP 2028 election. Sorry, 2008 election, first round. Nana Akufo-Addo was leading, isn't it? But at that time, the crisis MPP was in, the party, the brand was in, was so terrible. Hotel Wawa was hanging on His Excellency John Ejikun Kufuor. They said he's giving all the nation's money to his son to buy a hotel. He has made medals for himself. He has wiped away 4 zeros from our currency. He has made it more unbearable for people. He has done this. Nonetheless, Kufuor had given them free maternity care. He has given them this, and that. But still, because of that crisis, the second round they lost. Do you know why they lost? Because that small time, that was the determinant factor. NDC went there and destroyed MPP because the crisis was so heavy. Former Jerry John Rawlings went there and used their bath house. And villages, their bath house. You just put small clothes there. When you are bathing, everyone sees the one in the bathroom because your top part is all over. All right. And people couldn't match that. All right. So they lost. So if crisis is good for the political parties, why would MPP lose? And why would Mahama lose? 2016, look at what Rawlings did to Mahama. Babies with sharp teeth, they are stealing everything. Rawlings said, you see, MPP people, they don't talk by heart. As UNDC, you are talking blah, 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 blah. Rawlings was on their nerves and they lost. So we cannot take it for granted. The ordinary people on the street see the crisis and they act accordingly.
I now understand. And so we just want to know, the consequences. I mean, if this, brand, crisis is not managed well, what do you think it will be the consequences?
Well, I wish Honorable Alan Cash did not leave the MPP. That is my big wish. And I'm glad the MDC has been able to reconcile with Obeda Samoa and Gusitano. The reason is that, Nana, those who helped to set up the party, they have some fundamentals. They have something for you to have a political party to make it through to the topmost position of the land. It means those people cannot be taken for granted. Alan helped MPP, Gusitano, and all those things. If Alan is not to be there, I think all the votes going to Alan from Ashanti region would have made it extra possible for MPP to get to power easily. But now, if all those who are aligned with Alan are going to vote for Alan, let's assume maybe 100,000 people or even 40,000 people are going to vote for Alan in Ashanti region. Remember, Nana is 50 plus 1. 50% plus 1. So Alan is taking away that. Don't forget, this vacuum, because of the political crisis, we have Nana Bediakon, that young guy. I think MPP and NDC should not take him for granted. He is a dark horse coming from behind, and they are not paying attention. So his leverage on the crisis within the MPP and what has happened in the NDC, and he's making inroads on the downside. This is my fear for MPP and NDC. Nana Bediako might not pose a major threat in this election, but if he stay put and put things in order, 2028, 2032, this guy will give NDC and MPP big problem by leveraging on their crisis that are not well managed.
Okay, so if these parties, if they have crisis team, that manages all these crisis, what are they doing to woo back Alan Cash and all the other people that have actually left the party? What are they doing? Because I'm not a preacher of doom, but I'm thinking they will also give MPP a run for their for their votes as well. So I'm thinking, if they have a crisis team, what can they do to bring back Alan Cash so that at least the votes can help with the MPP's ability to win. Yeah, because
Two
now
ways.
Alan Cash has left with his own people. Now we have Bediakon, and we have who else? I'm just trying to remember, the other political
Ghana
parties.
Union Movement.
Yes.
And we have independent candidate also. Nana, you see, Alan is a dominable force. He was in the MPP. But let's look at the strength. Let's look at how much he can destroy, the extent he can destroy the MPP. MPP took a bold step to suspend Paul Afoko, Kwabena Japan, right? Now, there are some big guys, we don't even see them in MPP. But MPP went ahead to win the 2016-2020 election. When you are managing crisis, you have to look at the ego, the level. If you take that one away, you might even worsen your case. Alan might pose a threat, but MPP needs to stand to tell the people that, well, we wish our dear brother, the bloodline is still running through him, is with us. But if he is not coming back, we have made every effort. This shouldn't be done in public. It should be done in the background, right? Then they have to still say whether Alan or not, MPP is MPP. Nobody is bigger than the party. We are moving forward. Now you see MPP is depending so much on Kufuor. Listen to recently what the Kufuor is saying, granting interviews. Nana, do you know why? Because they know people have tied Alan to Kufuor, that he was in Kufuor's camp. So if Kufuor is not talking too much, people might think that, well, we said it. MPP is dead because Kufuor doesn't want to talk. He's on the side of Alan, so he better keeps quiet. So that is one advantage Kufuor has taken from Alan Cash to MPP. Now, Nana Kunedu Ajima Rawlings, our former First Lady, NDC can manage her. Do you know why? Because her bloodline is already a strong figure in NDC. Dr. Ezeneto is already with NDC. So MDC can ignore Nana Kunedu Ajima Rawlings. It wouldn't affect too much because the daughter is fighting on their behalf. So that Rawlings factor, that line, the founders' role or effect is still there. But Alan Cash might destroy, but not to the extent, because Kufuor is still with MPP, and that is very good news. But I still believe if they speak with him, probably it might not be now. If it has to go for a round-off, then Alan will become very important. Otherwise, MPP should go as it is because it's too late for now for him to come back.
I don't agree. I agree to disagree on this one, because I'm thinking Alan Cash is also left with the people that really helped the MPP to win, I think, the last election. They held that
Sure.
secured in all the borders and everything. So, the people that really did the actual dirty work for the NPP, you know what I mean? So I'm thinking, instead of just waiting for maybe the but we are not actually we can actually predict the outcome of this election. But then we are thinking, instead of just waiting for this to go maybe for the second round, why don't you, now just indulge Honorable Alan Cash? No. For him to come back and join the party instead of just, I don't know, but that's my say on this one. But anyway.
Nana, as I've told you, I wish MPP will speak with him to come back because it will be good for them. Look at Coca-Cola. When Coca-Cola was in crisis, they went and bring back the ex-chief executive to turn things around. When they were in crisis, they had to go back because this was a guy who transformed Coca-Cola. So the same way, Alan has supporters, and these supporters are relevant to the success of MPP. So if they do it on the quiet side, it doesn't matter what Alan has said. I will wish that they
because
bring him back.
They are just there, sorry to interject, but then they're just, spilling out all the secrets of, MPP, how they won, the elections, and all these things. And I'm thinking it's not too healthy for the party. And so, just to help bridge all these differences, I'm thinking these talks should be done now, rather than later.
Well, managing the crisis at this time is too late.
Okay.
Because we are few weeks away from election. There's nothing much to be done. And I don't think Alan will want to go back at this moment. I think he will want to wait and see after the outcome of the elections. So MPP must still carry on with the ego. If I was advising MPP, that is what I would say, that now it's too late. Let's move on, put a dominant force, let's push, let's give, let's go to our core, our first love, where we have most our vote from, Ashanti and Eastern. Let's get there. That will be my advice, and that will be the strategy that I will focus so much. Look at how many times MPP has been to Ashanti region, about 15 times in a short space of time. Nana, why do you think they are doing that? Because when you are managing crisis, you look at your strength and you look at your threat, where you can pose as a threat. So you secure your territories and your borders from that perspective. MPP is good at winning in Ashanti region. So they have to secure that borders, pose as a threat to NDC, pose as a threat to even Alan Cash, pose as a threat to Nana Kwame Bediako. All right. If they don't pose that threat, that is why I said the hedges of impediment, they are dividing walls of resistance. So the dividing walls of resistance, look at when that guy insulted our former president, His Excellency John Ejif Kumkofo. Do you see what happened in Kumasi? You can't touch Kufuor. When Alan Cash also talked about Kufuor, look at what happened in Ashanti region. This is how NPP should leverage on that ego. The dividing wall of resistance is coming from Ashanti region in the eastern. This is where they have built that hedge of impediment. Nobody should be able to thrive in Ashanti region. Why? Because the core values, the identity they have built is with them, for them, and by them. And now there is a candidate coming from the northern part who is also going to crack some of the walls built by NDC. It's going to be lovely on the 7th of December.
I can't wait. I can't wait. I think tonight, you've educated us, on the consequences of, brand identity, overcoming, political, brand crisis, and also the nature of political, brand, crisis. I think we'll just end tonight's discussion and to, just allow you to give us your final words, before you go.
Great. MPP and NDC are fantastic political parties. It's my prayer that they continue to be in Ghana, and whether NDC or MPP come in power after 7th December, nothing is going to happen to Ghana. We are over and above this sort of violence and the rest. It might occur here and there, but Ghana will survive. But Nana Kwame Bediako, the new force, MPP and NDC should be careful because he is a dark horse coming from behind. If you look at his campaign and his business model, to some part of I don't agree with his business model throughout, because he's also going on a standalone, and he will need the MPs from NDC and MPP to support him in Parliament, which I don't agree, because I cannot do anything and you just come and leverage on it. So MPP, I wish they bring Alan back, and I wish His Excellency former President John Dramani will bring Nana Akufo-Addo Agyeman back, if not for anything, because Rawlings is no more. At least she needs some comfort from the party, because the husband put the life on with the support of others. So at least, if not anything, they should honor her from that perspective. That would be my word.
Thank you so much, Dr. Samuel Kusi. We thank you so much. And, we've been educated, I think last week on, the importance of, brand, value, brand identity, and also, brand resonance. And then tonight, we've also been, actually educated on, managing the political brand under managing political brand crisis under uncertainty. And we've learned a lot from you. And we just hope and pray that our political parties will be educated on some of these important, topics. I've been educated because I never thought political brand and branding is so important to the success of any, political party. You've actually, broken it down to the simplistic, term that any person at all actually tuning will be able to understand the importance, the relevance of political brand. So we just wish all these political parties success, all the way, and we just hope that Ghana, will take back its past glory. So on that note, we wish everybody that has stayed with us till now a wonderful weekend. It's cold, so please keep yourself warm. Wrap up very, very, very warm. It's icy and slippery out there. Mm-hmm. So when you're going out, be careful and also drive safely. And those of us, in Ghana, we say, good luck. And we just want a peaceful elections. Please don't allow anybody to use you, or any act of violence. No, we don't want any violence. Let us uphold the tenets of democracy, and let us just vote peacefully and also quietly. And I've had comments from one of your colleagues, Dr. Boshi Wampong, who said, "Excellent submission, Prof." And I have my own dear brother, Pastor John Williams, that said, "God bless you." And also Dr. Boshi Wampong, came again and said, Alan's only mission is to try and stop Bawumia from being a president. That's Dr. Boshi's submission as well. So thank you so much, everyone. And I just want everyone out there to share this conversation. It's so interesting. It's so empowering, and also it's an eye opener, to all of us. And I'm also trying to do something out of my comfort zone. And I'm really enjoying this. I'm really enjoying this. But, hey,
thank you very much.
So on that note, thank you, Dr. Kusi. Thank you, Kusi. Thank you so much, Dr.
Thank
Kusi.
you.
And like that's your family as well. So thank you, and have a wonderful weekend. Bye-bye.
Bye.